Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's the 30th episode of the MFer Podcast, and I'm glad that you are here with me. All of you, this gigantic audience. Thank you all so much for being here. Brahma Bull says I'm late. I mean, come on. Seconds I'm late. You're like my mom. On my ass. I don't need it, Brahma. I don't need any lip from you, pal. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. It's good to be alive. It's good to be here. Good to be talking some shit. It's good to be talking some shit. So, let's just jump right into it. Just get right into the topics of the day. The Jets are back, baby. The Jets are back, baby. Maybe. I don't know. I'm excited. I've been watching HBO's Hard Knocks. I don't know if you guys are into the sports ball. I know it's not a big sports ball crowd here, but I've been watching. I'm excited. Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. The Jets got this sharp, aggressive, badass defense. I don't know. I'm excited to be a Jets fan for the first time in years since the Sanchez era, which did not go that great, and that was a while ago. And since then, I mean, if you ask me who the quarterback has been since Sanchez, I honestly don't even know that I could think about it. I could pull it up. If I really went back and tried to focus, I could probably think about who the quarterback was, but honestly, I can't. They've been barely on my radar. I've barely paid attention. I became a Rams fan when I was in LA. Why not? The Jets are giving me nothing. The Rams, my buddy, my neighbor is a huge Rams fan. Even before they came to LA, he was telling me all about this defense and Aaron Donald and all these cool players. I started watching, there's this Rams booster club that would go to this bar that I would hit up. So that was fun. And I would go there and and then they won a Super Bowl. So it was cool. They kind of suck now. But still got some Rams love. But now the Jets look like they might actually be a good team. So I'm like, fuck yeah, rocking my gear. I bought a new t-shirt. I was going to buy a jersey and it was $120. And I was like, no, I don't need it that badly. No. So football season's coming up. My father's coming to visit. He's actually pumped because he's a Giants fan. I live in Texas. And first game of the season is Giants-Cowboys. And my dad is very excited to be rocking his Giants jersey in Texas while they play the Cowboys. We're going to go to a bar. He's probably going to get drunk and talk shit. I hope I don't have to defend him. They're armed down here in Texas. But should be a good time. Should be pumped. I'm actually working on Monday night, the first Jets game. Rats. And I almost requested off, but I'm like, no, my dad's flying out Monday morning. No reason to take off Monday night. Well, I dropped the ball. And hopefully the Jets wideouts won't drop the ball and they'll have a huge victory over, I think it's Buffalo. Let's go. Football's back, baby. I do love football season. I got to be honest. It is fun. It's a good time. It's a great excuse to get loaded in the middle of a day on a Sunday. You're like, I'm watching football. What, am I going to sit here and not get a beer? Like some kind of asshole? Like some kind of chump? No. I mean, come on. I'm an American. I'm supporting the economy. And that's why I need to drink 8 beers today in this bar. Sounds like they're picking up the trash outside. I don't know if that's picking up on the mic, but it's picking up on my ears. And that's what that little beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Well, hi. Howdy. What's cracking? Ahsoka. No, I'm just kidding. I have not watched any more Ahsoka. I finished that first episode for the stream I did with Zax last week, and it was so dull. I mean, so lame. It's so just there. It's not even hateable. It's just inept and boring. You could tell, it feels like, you ever watch one of those independent movies where you're like, okay, this is bad, but there's a lot of good, there's a lot of potential here. If this wasn't coming out of Disney, that would be my assessment. I'd be like, okay, it looks good. I like the sets. I like the costumes. It's the dialogue's trash. The acting's trash. The pacing is obscene. I just put out a short talking about how unbelievably bad the pacing of Ahsoka is. And I mean, it really is. It's like it's a glacier. It's shocking. It's like, let's go. I'm not even out yet. I don't even hate your show, but like, let's go. There seems to be no concern of hooking anyone into this pile of shit. And I think, there's a lot of people that are basically just monetizing it. I'm not one of them. I am one of them. I've been putting out shorts and stuff like that. I've been trying to keep to push this cart up the hill. Okay. I haven't been working all that hard on this, but I'm back and I'm pushing. So I've gotten shorts. My Instagram is lighting up. I'm posting on Twitter. And you can see the fruits of my labor with 4 people watching this stream. That's okay. Listen, that's all right. I'm just happy anyone's here, Happy to be alive today. Unlike some people. Just got word today. The world learned that the singer of Smashmouth has died from liver failure, which is damn sad, dude. He was pretty fucking young, man. 50-something? I have an article. I'm prepared. What did I tell you about professionalism, guys? What did I tell you? It is for real. It's for real now. Yeah, the Smashmouth singer dead at 56. That is pretty young. It's a young age to be dying from like preventable circumstances. Like you don't have to die at 56 if you just kind of slow down on the drinking. He must have been drinking hard. He must have been drinking really hard. I mean, to die from liver failure at 56, I mean, he must have been going ham. And I understand that, he kind of became a punchline for a while there, because it was sort of one-hit wonder, but like maybe one of the biggest one-hits in history, right? I mean, like that song when it came out was everywhere. I liked it. I was like 12, 13 when that song came out, I think. And I was a big fan. I remember hearing like just the hook on like a commercial on, I think it was WDHA, which is a New Jersey radio station, which I haven't thought about in a long time, which played like classic-y rock kind of, and then a little classic rock and a little bit of the alt rock of the 90s, which was just my speed. And I remember hearing like the hook on it. Was like, what was that? Like, it was like magic. It was like the Pied Piper's flute. I was like, what was that sound? And then, loved that song. Then it got overplayed. Then it became the Shrek song. And that made it an indelible part of life. I mean, there's so many memes. God, oh man, because it was one of my favorite. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Let me see if I could wait. There you go. Okay, I got it. All right. This is great. This is like one of my favorite things because there were so many memes because this song was everywhere and people liked it. It was genuinely a likable song. Don't you sit here and retroactively tell me you didn't enjoy the Smash Mouth song. You're a liar. You are a liar, sir. You need to look yourself in the mirror, or ma'am, there are women who lie. You need to look yourself in the mirror and come to grips with the fact that you liked the Smash Mouth song. You liked and they don't stop coming. Well, I really liked this meme. Her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop 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 coming. It just goes on like this. And they don't stop coming 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 and they we talk about all the bad things the internet has done, social media, all these things, but we forget about the bounties. We forget about the gold that comes along with it, and stuff like that is great. I miss meme culture. I really do. We talk about how everything's politicized, even memes, man. Even memes. Some of the most rebellious content out there. Bagface, hail, fucking rip to one of the greats. Absolutely. Good to see you, pal. Good to see you. Zax as well, where I met Mr. Bagface on Zax's stream the other night, talking about Ahsoka, talking about The Expanse. And they're good fellas. It was a good stream. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Go watch that stream. I'm just kidding. Don't leave. I'm desperate for viewers. Don't leave me. But no, even like, that was just, you'd find little gems like that, great little memes. And now even memes, I feel like it's all politics. But RIP to the Smashmouth singer, Steve Harwell, passed at the very, very young age of 56, man. That's a young age to be dropping dead. That was a young age to go. But I don't know if I have much else to say. I mean, there's this article, and it's mostly just a eulogy, about the poor fella who dropped dead. And I think there was a time there where he did become kind of a punchline. I think it was some Disney concert or something where he was like drunk on stage and didn't remember the words of his own song and stuff. It was kind of sad. And I think there was kind of internal turmoil with the band. And I think there was lots of talk of his alcohol, maybe drug abuse, and RIP, man. I guess that's what happens if you just don't slow down. If you don't stop coming and you don't stop coming and you don't stop coming and you don't stop coming. Back to the bar and getting shots. Scary, man. Scary, because I like to drink. I do. That Irish blood is alive and well in my soul. And I do enjoy drinking. Probably to excess. Probably too much. I mean, you guys, there's some people out here who've seen the stream. Zax, I'm sure Zax remembers. Who knew he was a curator of people's follies? I didn't. I learned that later the other night. I won't get too specific about it, but I learned it about Mr. Zax. And I've been drunk on the air. I don't recommend drinking and streaming. Certainly not to excess. I think I've been an asshole more than once on the air. I've been belligerent. I've been annoying. I've probably alienated people. They probably look at me in a different light now, which is what happens when you drink to excess. People see you in a new light and you can't take that back. It's very damaging. Can be. So for someone like me who does enjoy drinking and doesn't drink to excess on occasion, this is kind of scary. You're like, God damn, man, it really can kill you. It can wipe you right out, wipe you right off the map, man. 56, liver failure. Oof. There must have been signs, though. All due respect to the dead, there must have been. He must have had. You can't just go from everything's fine to liver failure in like a week. And it was like I saw Geeks and Gamers posted about the his hospice care. Yes, Soul Assassin, rip the Smashmouth singer. It's so funny. No one even knows his name. I didn't. Just the guy from Smashmouth. That's why I put it Smashmouth singer dead in the title, because Steve Harwell. Who's that? Oh, the guy from Smashmouth. Okay. I'm sorry to speak ill of the dead. I just didn't know. I didn't know his name. Just knew him as the guy from Smashmouth. That song from Shrek. But Zax is saying, so you're saying Smashmouth needs a new lead singer? Bagface? Huh? It's time for the comeback, baby. What do you say? I think it's time. I think it's time you step up, let the world know. I watched your canceling video too. That was pretty raw. Pretty intense, bud. Pretty intense. Good stuff. If you guys have not subscribed to Bagface, go subscribe. He's a good YouTuber. I just met him, but I like his content. I watched his video about being canceled. It was worth a watch for sure, because it's very vulnerable, very real, and consequences of weaponized outrage, weaponized marginalized groups not being questioned. If you just are part of the group, you say the right thing, you can get got. You can get got. But go check that out. R.I.P. to Steve Harwell. Why won't that go away? There we go. Yeah, I guess I don't have much more on that. I thought I'd have more to go on that, but just a sad reality. And take some days off. Make sure you run. Get your heart rate up. Get that alcohol out of your system. Go do a schwitz. Go do a sauna. I've been saunaing. I rejoined my climbing gym now that my shoulder's not destroyed, and there is a sauna there. It's good. I don't know if you've ever sauned, but I recommend it. It's one of those. It's like meditation. You know how like the challenge of meditation is to literally just sit there and do it, and it's like hard for some reason. It's like the way you're like, why is quitting smoking hard? All you have to do is not do something. It's like, yeah, it's not that easy. Sauna is kind of the same thing. It's like you just need to sit there in the heat and sweat, which should be easy, but it's not. And but it's very good for you. It'll make your muscles feel a lot better. It cleanses the toxins, just like my spa background. Cleansing toxins is very healthy. So if you've got access to a spa, I recommend it. All right, let's get to the big story of the day. No more fucking around. R.I.P. Steve Harwell. But I don't know if you guys, I found this story from talking of memes, a meme site called 9gag that I spend entirely too much time browsing. Very toxic environment, but I like it because it's honest. It's one of these environments that's not really, Man of War says, so I don't recommend high colonics anymore. Listen, you don't have to pick and choose, you know? Health is health, you know? Do a high colonic while you're sauning. Make sure you've got access to a toilet, but you can do both. You can do both, you know? Keep that colon cleansed. You know, colon cancer is a thing. You don't want to die. I want to drop dead from colon cancer. I don't want to drop dead at all. I want to live to be 300. I want to have that vampire problem where you're like, oh man, everyone I know is dead. Isn't that? I'm so bored. I want that. I don't know. The afterlife's scary. Anywho, where was I? Oh yeah. So I was on 9gag meme site and scrolling as one does. Oh yeah, it's very honest. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's very honest website. It's very like unrestricted free speech, which I like. Which obviously brings with it a lot of toxicity, but also a lot of honesty and a lot of like unfiltered opinion, which I think is healthy at times. I don't think all the time, but I think sometimes it can be very healthy because there's a lot of things you're not allowed to say, like that are impolite or politically incorrect, and I don't think that's always constructive because you lose the nuance, you lose the truth. Like I was just watching, there's a lot of Europeans on 9gag, and they talk a lot about a lot of the immigrant issue, refugee issue in Europe, and how widespread can I say this word? The draping. I'll use that. Draping gangs are, and how bad it is for the citizens there, and the crime, and all these horrible things. But like, I don't know that I would know about that if it wasn't for the guys on 9gag talking about it. I don't really see that story being reported. It's not like you hear it here and there. And on Instagram today, DC Drano, conservative Instagram account, posted a video of this Algerian guy breaking into some Swedish family's home. It was pretty fucking scary. You know, you got to stay armed, baby. But because of like their unfiltered speech, that's where I get like this information. And so I was on 9gag browsing, and I see a video of Az. I was like, Az is on 9gag. That's great. So Az did a video. I guess he just did a live stream and just addressed the camera, addressed Bethesda while he was playing Starfield, and just went on a rant. And this rant is viral. It was on this meme site. I've seen a video from Gary on there like once, but they don't really post that content there. It's not common. So this one that he posted has caught wind with people, has really gotten people's goat, as it were. All right. Why can't I pause this? I can only mute it. That's stupid. I linked it to 9gag because I wanted to pull the comments because it has 13,000 upvotes, which is for 9gag is great in the first 23 hours. So this is one of these things that's gone like extra viral beyond just the normal kind of where is it? Is this it? No, that's just Tyrone Magnus reacting to it. Well, okay, I've got it. So we'll watch a little bit of it, just for context, and then we can talk about it. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I didn't know I couldn't pause the 9gag video. God. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share it, then I'm gonna refresh it because for some reason I can't pause it. Okay, and all these lovely ads. Isn't that something?
Bethesda, there is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG,
Fire.
lose myself, think, oh my God, just think of this world. Just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And you know, I love nothing more than, with all down in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring! We can't see past our own fucking reflection! That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company. Fuck your immersion. Fuck you having a good time. Fuck you falling into a world and just getting lost. No, no, no. Current fucking day. Fuck off. You're boring. You're fucking dull. You have nothing to say. You are a one-hived mind twat waffle.
All right, I think you guys get the gist. I really like that with the fun music underneath from that ad, like bing, 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 bing. That's very funny. Yeah, it does indeed make it so much better. Yeah, so that I found that on that website on 9gag, and the reason I went to that was because it's not a traditional outlet for this, and then the comments are like in complete support, which is dope because sometimes on that website, especially, you get a lot of Europeans. So they kind of have a lot of soy opinions. There's a lot of back and forth, which I do think is healthier, you know, because you can't really censor opinions over there. So you do get a lot of like unfiltered conversation. You get a lot of commie bullshit. Of course you do when there's, you know, a public platform. But I like that there's the back and forth. And the comments here have been very supportive. This guy with 23 or 2.3 thousand upvotes. It's not that it's bringing out opinions. It's about the fact that this whole LGHD TV bullshit is shoved down the throats of average consumers so much these days that even a slightest mention of it anywhere angers the shit out of people. It's like reverse ad effect. Seeing the same shitty ad for anything over and over again for years won't make you buy anything. It'd make you hate it with all your existence. Another comment. I empathize. The whole trans movement has been shoved down people's gullet for so long. Even a slight mention annoys people at this point. Wow. Okay. I mean, this applies to basically all current movies, series, etc. Great. Now I know I don't need to play this shit. Why the fuck are people still giving Bethesda money? All these things. I mean, it's like, he made some pretty good points if you can overlook the yelling, but I understand where he's coming from. He's not wrong. The moment I saw the pride flag and little Freudian slip there. Didn't mean that. The moment I saw the pride flag in a Starfield promo video inside the Bethesda studio, I was like, shit, TES. This will have the gay Arconians and trans, because blah, blah, blah. You understand. So this, for some reason, this one really, really hit. And it's interesting because, you know, I've been on YouTube for 3 years and I've been talking about it pretty much the entire time. I started not doing it because I was afraid, because I was still in Hollywood and I was worried that like my Hollywood people were going to find it and, you know, alienate me and be like, oh, this, but they already alienated me. You know, they already knew I wasn't on board, even if I wasn't a vocal critic. I just wasn't a ardent supporter of the agenda. So they could, you're not going anywhere. Plus I have all the wrong makeup, straight white male. It's not happening. Not happening in today's Hollywood. After a while, it's just, if you're going to cover content, I honestly don't know how you can honorably not mention it. How can you not talk about it? How is it possible for you to look at all the content and the consistencies and all the different things that like come out in our media right now and not mention it? Like it's every fucking where. There is nothing that is untarnished that's come out recently. I mean, anime, some video games, and usually just independent ones. Anything from a big studio is going to have it. I know Man of War, hello, Man of War 665 Neighbor of the Beast, saying kind of like the pass given to Baldur's Gate. Its lore contributions will age like fine milk. I still think overall Baldur's Gate is worth playing because I've got 40 hours in the game and I effing love it. But there's a guy in our party, this black warlock guy, who then gets turned into a tiefling for betraying his oath or something. I did a long rest one night, and then, during your rest, he's dancing and then invites you to dance and then invites you to bang. And I was like, it's an RPG, so you don't have to go along with it, but you're like, and then there's also this guy Astarion, who's a vampire. He's on the femme side too. He's pretty gay. And it does feel like everyone's gay. You're like, why is everyone gay? But I don't even really, most of those like story, like the intimate stuff, I just click through most of it and get back to the fighting and the world exploration and the skill building, because that is pretty sick. Really, there's a lot there, but it doesn't come without a price. And I respect that. I respect people kind of rejecting it. But it's, it's there. I think overall, like I said, it's playable, but like it's just, does it have to? It has to show up in absolutely everything. It really does, and it's just like, it showed up in Cyberpunk, and like people were like making excuses for it, but you're like, does it always? It's like, that actually isn't really new. It's just a little differently delivered. Like if you watch like any HBO show of the past 20 years, there's always at least one gay character. Always. I think for a time it was kind of edgy, but then now you realize you're like, oh, it's box checking before we were kind of on it. Like we knew it was there, but it's not like, it's like, oh, it literally has to. And you see these productions, everything, it like has to. There's some overlord that's making it that it has to be. And I know it's like the ESG scores is a thing. I know it's like, just the hegemony in Hollywood in general. It's something that I talked about last week. It's like when it comes to Hollywood, it's like the thing about it, like at least with Hollywood, my perspective, my time there, what I saw was the people who weren't on board with it were very, very rare. And they were very quiet about it. And you kind of had to be. But they were 100% the exception. I would talk with them and be like, yeah, fuck, right. But even then, like I wasn't aware of all the things that were going on. I thought it was just individual personalities. I didn't realize it was like the Borg. It was like this. I was not aware. I had to piece it together later. And then, we see what's going on in society now. And it's much more evident. Back then, I just was naively hopeful that, I'd meet some other people who weren't like that. But no, it was absolutely everybody. And when it's absolutely everybody, I don't even know how you could defy it. Because it was almost every actor I knew, definitely every girl. But then, you see it like it's all throughout the entire system. So if it's in the entire system, how could you defy it? I made the analogy. It was like if it'd be like a corporation, if everyone that worked in the corporation was like an HR girl. It's like, how could you ever break the rules if everyone is like a reporter, if everyone's like a little spy for the agenda for the system? How could you ever defy it? It's impossible. You can't be done. And I never been in the gaming industry, but I guess I'd have to conclude it's pretty similar, right? Once you have these big corporations, you have like diversity, equity, and inclusion standards for your hiring practices. That's going to bring in these sort of commie-minded people. Also, the commie mindset is very widespread. It's like, it's going to infect your company. So it's like, if you're not going to do it, like if you're going to be like, no, we don't need to put pronouns in this Starfield game, you're there's going to be guns pointed at you internally from your own employees, from your own people. It's like you'd have to be defiant to make a thing that doesn't have that on a big corporate level. You'd have to be defiant to do it. Like, I played some games this year. I played Dredge, which I bring up so often. I think you guys are overlooking it. Please go play Dredge. It's phenomenal. It's independent. It's made by Team 17, the same people who did like the Worms games back in the 90s. They're brilliant. And Dredge is really fun. Nothing in there like that. It's about a guy basically getting over the death of his wife, essentially, is what the whole theme of the game is. There's nothing, no bullshit. Dave the Diver is a super fun game. Nothing in there. Just a fun, cute, like diving, collect fish, run a sushi restaurant. Really addictive. Not Starfield. That's the opposite. What's that game I'm trying to think of? Subnautica. Get out of here. There's nothing like that in there. And these are games that are not AAA games. AAA games, even like the Hogwarts game from the turf herself, the turf queen herself, J.K. Rowling. Apparently that's just got lots of that stuff in there. Apparently a great game too. But I genuinely don't know how in the modern era you can make something. Obviously there's a market for it. We want it. But it'd be like trying to criticize the Kremlin during the USSR. You can't do it. You can't do it. Your own machine is going to eat you, and you will not get a good game out. You will be escorted out. You will see the door. That'll be the end for you. Look, this is not new, right? This complaint, this criticism, this observation, how long have we been hearing about it? How long have we been talking about it? How many of you came to YouTube for this exact reason? I came to it for a similar reason. It was because of how terrible Game of Thrones was. But also what kept me, what got me into all this stuff was Gary, Mauler, Critical Drinker, people, geeks and gamers, people not putting up with it. People saying what they're observing and pointing it out, and not flatteringly, which was like, holy shit, there's people saying this. This is incredible. That was 3-4 years ago when I started getting into this. I mean, this isn't new to us. This isn't news. But you could see it in the mainstream, right? You could see people like observing it. Like it's a lot more, even like my mom, she's like, there's so many of this stuff. They just putting this content forward. My girlfriend, who doesn't really pay attention to any of this stuff, she's aware of it. She gets to know it. She's like, does it have to be every show? It's much more mainstream now. People are more, I think the normies, as they say, the bulk, the herd, the main crowd is inundated with it so much that you can't ignore it. You can't deny its existence. It's here. It's not going fucking anywhere. And, I think people are really, really fed up. I think people really have had enough. And I think this As video kind of shows that, how super viral it went. And I bring up the 9gag thing because it's outside the normal spheres, right? Me and Vigilante Williams said we used to do a show called The Culture Crime Fighters. And a lot of times we would talk about the echo chamber, the reverse echo chamber, right? That would come up from like different nerd spheres, manosphere, conservative media. And then basically all you're doing is just yelling, just preaching to the converted. You're just yelling at each other and no one's hearing it. And like, well, what good is that? How does that help anybody? It doesn't, you got to reach the people who aren't hearing it. You got to give them an alternative. That's the more not progressive, the more productive avenue is. That's why, like when Jordan Peterson went to the Daily Wire, I thought that was a terrible move, because now no one new is ever going to hear you. It's just going to be the people who already like it. They already are on board, which is fine. But I think it's more important to reach people who haven't heard it, or reach people who are on the fence or unsure, or like, but if you're being like, hey, I'm just offering a reasonable middle of the road opinion, and then you go subscribe to that website, and on that website are banner ads for liberal tears mugs. Well, I mean, it's not exactly middle of the road. It's not exactly, just a non-side, non-partisan kind of thing. It's like, well, I mean, okay, it is, obviously. I've got to, it's like if I'm like a reformed liberal, or if I'm like someone who's like, I don't know, it's like you can't just go hard into that realm. You know, you need to be kind of slowly ushered in. You know, you need to be gently nudged because people just, I don't know, they reject it. But this ads video, I think, is evidence that it's not just confined to those spheres. People are fed up with it. This seems to be some kind of a lightning rod. Gamers historically do not put up with this shit at all. It's not like they tried that with like the Battlefield 1 or whatever. And you had like a disabled black woman on the front lines of World War I. You're like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And no one bought it. People hated it. They outright rejected. Gamers do not put up with this shit. And fuck yeah, I respect that. I think that's badass. Good. And this, Starfield's a huge game. It's the first Bethesda game that's been out in a long time. They are a juggernaut in the gaming industry. Why? I really don't know. Fallout 4 is my least favorite Fallout game. I didn't even finish it, and I'm a Fallout stan. Skyrim is so repetitive. It's just all right. Another dungeon, another. There's like it's so thin, it's so hollow. I don't know. I feel like I don't care about the story. I don't know. People love it, and even Fallout 3 is like it was important for what it did, but it still, as a Fallout game, it's not a very good one. It's it revolutionized or revitalized that property, which got me New Vegas, so I can't complain too much. But this is a huge game from a huge gaming company. And this is the first bit of press I heard about it. Genuinely, this is the first press I heard about this game. And like, I'm on socials. I'm tapped in, dude. I got my finger on the pulse, bro. You know me. But this literally the first thing I heard about this game was Az's video on 9gag going off about how pronouns in space. And it's just like, that is not good for their game. It's good for people like us, I think, who don't want this fucking nonsense in their content, who genuinely just want to enjoy escapism, who genuinely just want to have a good time watching movies, TV shows, playing video games, comic books, whatever. But I really do think ultimately what this does is open the door much wider for independent creators. We talked about it on Zax's stream the other night, as far as like what comedy did to once the industry was like, we don't want you. And they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll just go do it ourselves then, and destroyed Comedy Central. Comedy Central is not a company anymore. And if it is, in name only. They don't produce specials. They don't make content. I think they just show like South Park episodes over and over. They're a non-entity. Netflix is too big to go away, and they started embracing it. They had Tim Dillon on last year. They have Mark Norman on this year. They're going to have Shane Gillis on later this year. They realized, you can't fight this tide. But the comedy world was like, fuck you. We don't need you. Louis already showed you could release a special independently. Now, it's not for everybody. You have to have a big audience. But, if you put stuff out on YouTube, you build a podcast audience. I mean, I was looking at Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. I'm a patron. Great podcast. They have 38,000 patrons. That's 38,000 people paying monthly fees of like the minimum you could pay is $1. That's not offered anymore. But if you had it, you're grandfathered in. But $3, $5, $10, $50, 38,000 people paying that every single month. You don't need fucking you don't need Comedy Central. You don't need HBO putting out your special. Not when there's those alternative platforms. And I think it's tough. The thing is having an audience, right? The thing is like getting the word out there. But, Eric July, Ice and number 2 is coming out. I mean, I haven't heard anything about the Epic verse, but I know they're working on it. I know they're trying. And I just think stuff like this, all it's going to really do is just kind of signal boost independent shit. Which is, you got to be your own marketing. You got to be your own PR team. You got to push. Which is hard. Obviously you'd much rather have a giant machine do that for you. But I mean, how long can people put up with it? I feel like we all kind of put up with it we got out of it real quick, got into YouTube, got into other stuff. Now there's like a network of people talking about what is good, what isn't, something that's like actually good shoots through the community like a fucking missile, what's it fucking, like Maverick. I mean, goddamn. Couldn't not stop hearing about Maverick when that came out. And even though I think it sucks, the Super Mario movie was really, really popular. You know, it's like, I don't know. I think this might, I mean, I'd like to believe that it's a changing point, but I think it's just in evidence of the fact that people are just like, nah, no thanks. No. All right. What's the chat saying? What have you guys been saying? Huh? Bagface talking about the immigrants. Yeah, in Europe. So weird when you plop a bunch of people in a country and give them nothing to do, no way to make money, they turn to crime. Well, yeah, but it's like you can't, it's like an unnatural influx of people. Like you can't just invite, you know, several million desperate people into a Western nation and expect everything to just go great. They come from, you know, poverty. They're not assimilated into like Swedish society. They're not just gonna be like, oh, I guess I'll just, you know, put away all the cutthroat lifestyle I've been living because the country I come from is kill or be killed. And I'll just, you know, go get a latte. Not gonna happen. And I don't know why anyone thought it would. This is retarded. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I use the R word? Well, I meant it. Where are we? Bagface. To me, it's like pick your battles. There's definitely shit to try to push ideologies, but some things are literally just acknowledging that other people exist. Is it though? Can you give me an example? Because I don't think anyone ever had a problem with people like just acknowledging that other people existed. Like when The Wire came out, no one was like, oh, look at all these black guys on this show. No one cared. No one had a problem with Blade. No one had a problem with Laura Croft. No one was whining about Ripley or Sarah Connor. No one gave a shit. No one ever cared about that. I don't think so. I think why people don't like it is it comes with agenda. It's not just that other people exist. There's like this like sizzle of commie thing, you know? It's like it comes right with it. It's not just authentic in my estimation of things. I think it's like, yeah, whatever. Obviously people, no one cares. It's like, I think it's like when you put all the other stuff on it, you wrap up this, just representation, just putting people in there. It's no big deal. It's like, oh yeah. Also for some reason they're rallying about Black Lives Matter as well. And you're like, all right, well, I mean, this isn't just putting a black guy in a thing. This is, you know, coming with the leftist agenda. It's like, well, all right, well then that's not just purely that people exist. It's that these ideologies exist. And it's like, boy, oh boy, do we know these ideologies exist. We are fucking aware. We know. We've heard it. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. Graced with your presence. Hello, sir. I like the shorts that people make for BG, Baldur's Gate. They went through the pain of making the time pass in that game. They showed a decent part of the game. I think the game's good. I really do. 40 hours in, I'm still happy with it. But yeah, it's not going to be representation free. And I'd say representation, not as like, I don't want any fucking people of color in my shit. Whites only. It's just like, well, of course, the black dude's gay, obviously. You know what I mean? Like that's how it goes. You know, it's just it's like you'll see like a race, like a Dungeons and Dragons race, and it's like, wow, it's a very diverse race you've got there, which is weird because it's not really how it's supposed to go. But hey, what do you know? So it's you know, it's not without it, but it's a good game. It's a good game. Zax, Gail wants me to take him to Pound Town too. Gail's gay too? Jesus Christ. Yeah, everyone's gay in the game. Really? Oh, that is annoying. It's a good thing the rest of the game is so good, because if it wasn't, that really bugs me, actually, Zax. Yeah, maybe Manowar right. Because I was overlooking it. I was like, all right, Astarion's probably gay. Oh, this guy, Will's gay? All right. And Gale? Everyone's gay? Everyone's gay in Dungeons and Dragons? Seems like too much. You know, and also, like, to Bagface's point, is like reminding you that other people exist. It's like, well, you know, they don't really allow me to exist. You know what I mean? Like, there's no There's no like conservatives in media, you know, like just reminding you they exist. It's like, unless they are the villain, they're not there. You don't see them. They're not showing up. And I don't even call myself a conservative, but it's like, you know, I think that's the lie they tell you to usher it in, to smooth it in. Okay. You're not a person if you tell others I identify as. The bank sure as shit doesn't identify me as a millionaire, and that's the only cosplay I'd take part in. Sad face. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, it's so funny. I was thinking South Park covered this years ago with like Mr. Garrison's sex change and what was it? Kyle identified as like a black dude to play basketball, and fucking what Stan's dad identified as like, oh no, Kyle's dad identified as like a dolphin, and they mocked the entire concept. That was in the 90s, I think, and it's didn't slow it down, not at all. Just kept going. Bruce Lombardo. The re-release of Quake 2 was fucking amazing. Lots of new stuff in the download. Lots of lore opened up in the archive files. Now, I never was a Quake guy. Not that I'm against it, but did they up the quality? Oh, it is remastered. Oh, that's cool. Is there? Let me see. Is there gameplay? Because I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that. Quake was just one of those ones I just didn't get into. Not that I don't like it. Not that I was against it. It was just one of those things I just never really gave time to. What was the other one too that came out? Was Quake the one with like the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack with like the nail gun? I think I played it a little bit, but not too much. So this is Quake 2 remastered. That's pretty sick. I mean, I do like when they do this. There's the oh, they have stim packs in this game. Did Fallout and Quake share that? Huh. I do like the blue shift for Half-Life. If you guys haven't ever played that and you're Half-Life fans, you are missing out. That is so sick. It's a completely remastered, like, but it's Half-Life, but all like upgraded graphics and upgraded mechanics. It is incredible. I mean, and I've played the original Half-Life so many times. The upgraded Half-Life rules. Cannot recommend enough. This looks pretty sick. I mean, this is cool, especially for Quake fans, I imagine. You know, you see like your game remastered, pretty tight. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's what ends up happening. You're just like, all right, I guess I'll just go play old shit because you're not making any good new shit. Keep my money. New Bomb said this is far from a first AAA game with pronouns. No, I don't think anyone's saying it's novel. I don't think anyone's like, oh man, what are they doing suddenly out of nowhere? What is this new thing they're introducing? But it's a Bethesda game, and that's big money. I still, honestly, like I said, I really don't know why. I think a lot of their games are pretty hollow, like great mechanics, but just empty. But this has been anticipated. I've been hearing about Starfield for years. And that the fact that this comes out and has this giant backlash right away. First thing I heard about it, backlash. First thing. Even, like I said, even Baldur's Gate. Now, it turns out that Gale's gay, Will's gay, Astarion's gay. Everyone in your party's gay. It's like, still people love it. I don't know. We'll see. I guess it's brand new, Starfield. We'll see. I mean, I almost want to play it just to find out for myself. But, you know. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. I don't know. You guys could super chat me and then we could you guys could just pay for it for me. That would be sick. That'd be tight. Bagface. Starfield is a perfect example. It's literally an option you can choose or not choose, and it has zero effect on the gameplay. I haven't played it. I don't know. I honestly can't say. I doubt it though. I doubt it's as benign as that. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't played a second of Starfield. I don't know. But it's never like that. It's never just a little spice on there. I don't think anyone would care if it was just a little spice. It's so much more. But I'm just talking out of my ass. I honestly don't know. I really don't know. New Bomb. Remember when the black guy was the first to die in a horror flick? Pepperidge Farm remembers. You know the rest. I'm not sure. Are you saying that this is like a correction of that? Like that time has evolved? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like some of those memes though are exaggerated. Like I remember like in like I think it was like the 90s, there was like a joke from the Wayans brothers talking about how the black guy is always the criminal. And it's like, I was like, oh, and I started paying attention to that. I swear I never saw a black guy ever portrayed as a criminal in like any pride. Like it's always some like tough looking white guy, but like, like LA tough looking, you know what I mean? Like the guy's clearly just like some white actor, like, yo, doggy, give me all your money. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it's not. I feel like it's like, oh, I saw it twice, so it's everything. So I don't know, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm not a black man. I don't know. Bagface, when it comes to the entire message being ideological, that's some bullshit. Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, etc. But if the content is good and has a valid message, that shit is just window dressing, in my opinion. Yeah. I think we talked about that. I think Arcane was an example of that. That was like a lot of stuff in here, but ultimately a pretty good show, even though I didn't find it to be all that terrific. I was pretty cooked at the time, so maybe if I went back and rewatched it, I'd have a different take. But I think that was kind of the example with like Arcane. They're like, yeah, all right, whatever. She's got purple hair, she's kind of a Yas queen, blah, blah, blah. But it was ultimately a good show. So yeah, it's true. I mean, ultimately, if the core of the thing is good, people don't really care all that much. We'll see what the fallout with Starfield is. Like it just came out. We don't know. We'll see. But I don't know. Bagface, yee. There's a lack of conservative views in most art forms, I think, just based on right-wing views being less prominent in most creative spaces, more than just a byproduct of human behavior thing. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I agree. Yeah, it's true. I mean, not only are they less prominent, they're absolutely subdued. You're not allowed to have them, at least not when I was in Hollywood. And even like a conservative view is like just having a question. That's not okay. Like I genuinely remember being like, in this office back in LA, the acting school that I was working at. And this woman said something like anti-Trump or whatever. I don't remember. And I just didn't respond. I didn't say anything. I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't have an emotional response. I didn't say anything. And I swear to God, she clocked that. I didn't just cheerlead her for the cause. So to say that there's no such thing as like conservative views in these creative spaces is, yeah, true. Because if you even suggest you're conservative, people will extricate you. I see that in the food service industry in Austin all the time. I would never dare say that I like Trump out loud in those spaces. No way. Not publicly. Maybe like one-on-one with a trusted colleague or something like that. But for the most part, no fucking way, dude. You can't say that. You'll be chased out of town with pitchforks and torches. So yeah, I mean, the tolerant left is not very tolerant of different ideas. All right. Men of War, I think the whole modern day Cali sensibility in my medieval fantasy or sci-fi adventure set 150 years in the future is a key point here. Well, if things keep trending the way they're trending, it might be everywhere. It might be populating the galaxy. I don't know. Somehow the Expanse managed to not do that, and it was pretty awesome. And I feel like there was like LGBT and racial diversity and female empowerment, blah, blah, and it did not impact the show in any way, like negatively. It seemed to just kind of enrich the fabric of it because it wasn't like postulating it. It wasn't like dunking it, slamming it over the net. Like, yeah, take that, conservative America. It was just like, this is just what it is. And so therefore you don't notice it because it's just part of the storytelling. Yeah. Bagface. Yeah, also drummers Polly in the Expanse, right? Exactly. Like her whole crew is just banging each other like friends. Well, I did think that was a little weird, to be completely honest. I was like, this is unnecessary. Also, that was my least favorite season 5. So that did feel a little weighted where you just like all of a sudden this is just sort of being dragged along now for some reason. I mean, I don't care, but I also don't know why. It's and people are like, well, it makes sense. You're in a spaceship for, okay, fine. It's just coincidental that it happens to be out in the time when that's super popular to put that in things. And now all of a sudden it shows up in the middle of 5th season. odd timing, but I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Sure it is. Bruce Lombardo, white dude with gangsta necklace and $5 watch from Kmart. Yeah, that's the only guy I've ever seen as like a mugger in anything that wasn't like The Wire. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just myopic. I'm not sure. Dread Roberts. Hello, Dread Roberts. I'm enjoying Starfield, though I share the sentiment. The pronoun stuff is annoying. I'm usually the guy that goes after the woke nonsense hard. I just didn't give it much thought this time around. Damn it. You mean this is more complex than just the woke sucks? I don't know. Shit, now I need to go see it firsthand and find out. I don't know. I've been spending a lot of money on games this year. I bought Dredge, fucking Dave the Diver, Subnautica, Baldur's Gate, the Expanse game. So that's like a few $100 right there. I don't know that I should buy any more games, but now it's the popular game, and I got to get those clicks, guys. I got to build this YouTube audience. We got to go to 11 to 1,100 to 11,000. I'll be alive like Steven Crowder. It'll be like an event. That's what's going to happen. All I got to do is get Starfield to make it happen, baby. Make it happen. All right. I don't like Bethesda. Oh, how much? Isn't it $70 too, right? Look how fucking easy I am. I'm such a pussy. I'm like, $70. God damn, that's a lot of money for one game. Dread Roberts, if it makes you feel better being on the fence about Starfield, Armored Core 6 is solid. I've heard about Armored Core 6. That's like a PvP game though, right? I'm not a big PvP guy anymore. It's too stressful and tiring. I like my video games to be fun. It's my leisure time. I don't want to go to war. I really don't. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. I don't have the time for that anymore. I don't need that surge of adrenaline when I'm like coming around the corner. I really don't. I'm too old for that shit. I want my games to just be fun. That's why I like Baldur's Gate. I like the turn-based combat. I love turn-based combat. The older I've gotten, Wasteland 3 has got really good turn-based combat. It's just much more peaceful. It's good for my brain. And then it gives you that little dopamine tick. Yeah, I beat that guy. I'm in the act 2 of Baldur's Gate right now, and there's like this swarming, like soul sucking, I don't know, something on the entire part of this world I'm in. And it just like, if you go out in the dark too long, it eats you up and turns people evil. There's all these monsters in the dark. And I destroyed this town full of them. And I felt good. I felt accomplished. And I like turn-based. I like the strategizing and thinking about it. I used to hate turn-based when I was a kid. I love it now. I absolutely love it. Zax, they should let you probably opt out of the romance storylines altogether. I wouldn't, but it's single player. I don't care about any of my party's backstories. Anytime that happens, I just click. I just care about the main story. I don't know. I'm with you. Bruce Lombardo, Subnautica's top tier surviving game has a great plot. Yeah. I don't even like surviving games. It rules. It absolutely rules. I love that game. All right. A few more chats and then we'll go and move on to the next article. As nice as the money looked for The Expanse, the money? That was the worst of the 2 seasons of The Expanse. Seasons 4 and 5 were just flat. 5 was flat out bad. I really didn't like 5. Like, I genuinely was like halfway through. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is Naomi still just breathing? What the Christ am I watching? I hated it. And then like fucking what Avasarala just has a coup and steals the position of power of the UN. Steals it like a fucking communist government. Kills, like, essentially killed, like, not just, no, you can't be the leader. I'm the leader now. What? Why is that not, like, solar system-wise news that she just stole the seat of power? And they tried to justify it because, like, women aren't as pro-war. Yo, that bitch tortured a belter in the first episode. She's not, like, more, like, compassionate. Like, season 5 was so bad. And season 4 I had problems with too. Season 4, just like, I was like, okay, where are they? Where is this planet? Is it in our galaxy? Is it in another galaxy? Also, why the hell are none of you wearing respirators? You're on a fucking alien planet with alien biomes and an entire different evolutionary timeline than our own. There could be super AIDS that takes out your immune system in an hour and wipes you off. We're done. Like in our own planet, there are diseases that are in different parts of the planet, right? Like malaria and yellow fever are in more like South America, Central America. That's where it's really big. But it's not like, Africa. But it's not everywhere. So yes, maybe this one part is cool. But like maybe, a few miles over there is where fucking Space AIDS lives. You just taking your fucking chances on this shit? Oh, it's good. The air's fine. What? And then, of course, that happens. You're just like, how is that not the number one thing you're taking care of? I don't know. Well, there's been belters there for 6 months. It's like, so fucking what? I don't know. Season 4, not for me. It's fine. I just didn't love it. Especially coming off season 3, which was magnificent. And then season 6, they did their best. Hello, Courtney. Hello. Zach's got some good feedback about Wednesday. We got a few people to check out The Expanse. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I want more people on at least the first 3 seasons of that show. I made it my mission to turn people on The Expanse. I still try to do it. There's a girl I work with who never heard about it, loves sci-fi. I was like, this is what you got to watch. This is what you got to watch. Thank you for subscribing, Dread Roberts. I appreciate you, sir. Look at that. Growing the channel before your eyes, everybody. This is huge. Huge. Bruce Lombardo, the Expanse could have made a whole season just on us, showing us Avasala's level of treachery and cunning. I really think that they changed that because in the first episode, she is brutal and ruthless, and she does do ruthless things throughout the season. But I think the first episode's a pilot, right? So you usually shoot that before you shoot the rest of the show. So you shoot that, pitch it to the studios, whatever. They buy it or they don't, or they make a season out of it or they don't, whatever, right? That's what you do. I think they put that in the pilot and then they shaved off the edges, which is fine. Honestly, I don't really think it's a problem, but that's just my prediction. So I think like her cunning became a little bit more palatable, but still pretty badass. Love her. Bruce Lombardo, I actually like to watch you play through Fallout Tactics. The story is really good, and Arlie Ermy is one of the voice actors for a major cast role. Oh, yeah. Brotherhood of Steel Tactics, right? That was the one that came out after Fallout 2 where they changed the gameplay and stuff. I think I actually have that game. Do I? Let me look at my... No, I don't. I thought I did. Yeah, I'd never actually given it a shot. I think I tried for like a half hour. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know. Bruce Lombardo, the first 3 seasons of The Expanse were majestic. Fuck yeah, they were. They're flawless. It's some of the best television I've ever seen. I watched those first 3 seasons and I immediately started them over and watched them again. And then I watched them again and again and again. I watched it so many fucking times. I'm not. I watched that first season like 13 times, 12 times, maybe something like that. Yeah. I love that. It's so good. The writing is phenomenal. The acting's phenomenal. The production design's phenomenal. The battles are phenomenal. There's nothing bad about that show. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, Smashmouth Singer's dead. As goes viral. Which one? All right, let's do this one. Because I genuinely do love this movie, I thought that this was interesting, but also absurd. So this was in the New York Post today. It came out how Madonna and Tom Hanks stirred up trouble on A League of Their Own set. Now, look, here's the thing. Who gives a shit about gossip from 30 years ago? I don't know. I don't know why this is a story. I don't know why this is on like the front page of the New York Post of like all the movies to be like, ooh, do you know what she said on the set? You're like, in 93? I don't who fucking cares? But I do love this movie. I genuinely love A League of Their Own. I think it's an awesome movie. And I also think it's a great movie of how they do female representation correctly. And, a female-centric story about women like trying to, fight for their own and stuff. Because it's merit-based, right? Like they're like, we can play baseball. We are good at baseball. Look how good we are at baseball. Look how entertaining we can be. Like they're not saying like we deserve it because we're women. They're saying we deserve it because we're good. And like that, I think that's the departure of like recent media, recent messaging is like, you're kind of like, it's not just accepting other people like because of like what they can do. It's just accepting them because they're alive and give them positions of power. It's like, fuck you. What are you talking about? No, that's not how this works, but that's how they go. That's how that is. How Madonna and Tom Hanks. Okay. It was Demi Moore, not Gina Davis, who was director Penny Marshall's first choice for the lead role of female baseball phenom Dottie Hinson. Ooh, but Moore made fatal professional mistake of getting pregnant. Dumb bitch. What are you doing getting pregnant, ho? She literally got fucked out of the part. Marshall posthumously cracks. That's pretty funny. No crying in baseball. The inside story of a league of their own, big stars, dugout drama, and a home run for Hollywood. I mean, I don't think this is going to sell very well, but I do really like this movie. And Davis wasn't even the second choice for the now classic movie, which tells the story of an all-American girls professional baseball league, a real-life professional women's baseball league that existed during World War II, all on one breath. Seemingly every young actress in Hollywood wanted to be part of the movie. Okay. What is this? We got it. Why would you not want to be part of a big movie? When you see a movie with all the leads are women, and the men are supporting parts, you want to be in it. I mean, yeah, but Tom Hanks is, look, good movie. I get it. But now they're kind of spinning this a little bit. I mean, this movie was sold because Tom Hanks is the coach, and he's great. And he's got some of the most memorable lines. Hey, tall girl. What's her name? Beverly? Beverly? It's great. There's so much. There's just, he steals the fucking show. This is like, whatever. I mean, you know, I don't, it always needs to be about this. It's like, you know, it's also, it's a women movie and there's all these women. Right. Tom Hanks desperately wanted to be cast, blah, blah, blah. Can I okay, this is so dull. I thought this was going to be a little bit more salacious, but they're just like, did you know other people wanted to be in this movie and they weren't? Isn't that crazy? No, it's every single movie that gets made. I've had student films I wanted to be into, I didn't get. You know what I mean? This isn't news. This isn't information. I should have read this article. Damn it. I got duped by the headline. You've got to get Rosie. All right, never mind. This is dull. I don't care. And if there isn't anything juicy in there, they sure as hell did not top load that article. They're just like, oh, and I said this, and he laughed. That's it. That's the whole. That's yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because they're famous, so you care. I don't actually. No, and even I like that movie. All right, that was a failure, a flop. What do we got? Oh, this is too dark. All right, let's go here. All righty. So, listen, stoners. All right, potheads. Vigilante Williamson, I'm talking to you, big guy. Check this out. Health effects of weed laid bare. Marijuana is behind 3 in 10 schizophrenia cases, can be a death sentence in pregnant users, but Biden still wants to ease restrictions on the drug. Can you believe that Biden wants that? Can you believe it? Oh, goddamn ads. I swear to Christ. Now, listen, I think Biden's as incompetent as the next guy. I think everyone's pretty aware. Old Grandpa Joe is not exactly the man for the job, but I mean, a bit of a reach here with this one. They're trying to be like, weed's bad for you. It's like, come on. Like, even if it is, trying to spin this about how Biden sucks is a bit of a stretch. That's a bit of a reach. I feel like we've been on a path towards getting weed more legal for like 25 years. The idea that it's like, okay, if you wanted like meth legal, I'd be like, yeah, all right, this guy's out of his mind. If you wanted fucking, you know, heroin or fentanyl to be legal, I'd be like, what is this guy doing? But like, they're like, oh, you know, Biden wants, like in most cities, weeds are already legal. I was in Dallas, Texas, and you can legally purchase, there's dispensaries in Dallas. And I haven't really heard the epidemic of lives being ruined and people dying. Look, maybe it is. I don't really know. But I can't imagine getting upset about this one. This seems a little bit much. I mean, like, it's not, you can't legally buy it in Austin, Texas, but you pretty much can. You pretty much can. Let's see. The nationwide social experiment launched by a wave of marijuana legalization is finally bearing results in the form of higher depression rates and addiction. Well, that I agree with. I could actually see that being true. I think it's like, yeah, there's going to be negative repercussions, 100%. Like, it's a mind-altering substance. There's consequences of using and abusing substances. I mean, that's true about alcohol, but it's like, the point is, are we going to be legally limiting what adults can put in their bodies when they're, it's not fentanyl. I don't know. It started in 2012 in Colorado and Washington, setting off a domino effect that has seen restrictions lifted across nearly 40 states, including 23 where it's legal to use marijuana recreationally. The Biden administration now aims to demote the drug from the Schedule 1 status. It should. Look, they should. I am not a Biden fan, but they 100%. Do you know what else is on a Schedule 1 drug? Like methamphetamine, heroin. That's on the same level in American drug policy. Some examples are heroin, LSD, PCP, crack cocaine, and marijuana. I know a lot of potheads. I know a lot of casual smokers. My mom smokes marijuana. I don't know one casual PCP user. I don't even know if I've met anyone who's admitted to using PCP in my entire life. That is not on the same level as weed. Say what you will about weed, fine. PCP and marijuana are not in the same conversation when it comes to drugs. That's insane. That is crazy. That is some old, like, what was the one with the black dudes, like, what was that propaganda film where they're like, black guys are gonna rape your women? What was it? The Weed Mania or whatever? It was it was like, I forgot what it was called, but it was just like they're out to get your daughters. That's what this sounds like to me, man. This is pretty wild. Schedule 1. They should. It absolutely should be demoted. That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, lumped in with heroin, LSD to Schedule 3. The first step toward total decriminalization at a federal level. Marijuana has been lauded for its purported benefits for pain relief and anxiety treatment, among other applications, all while believed users could not become addicted. Well, that's stupid. If you can become addicted to shopping, you can become addicted to marijuana. Reefer madness. That's it. Thank you, Man of War. Reefer madness. That is some reefer madness ass shit. Yeah, it's as bad as heroin and PCP. So basically, you're like, well, I mean, I smoke weed. I might as well inject heroin. It's the same thing, according to the federal government. Absurd. I think everybody who's even mildly reasonable can acknowledge that. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not chemically addictive, but neither is cocaine. Cocaine's not chemically addictive. You're addicted to the feeling it gives you. Now, granted, it shoots your dopamine receptors. It explodes, but it's not chemically addictive. It's not. I think fucking the most chemically addictive substance is fucking nicotine. I think it's even more than heroin, as I understand it. But I don't understand it well, so don't take my word for it. I'm certainly not a doctor. Use of marijuana rate was more than doubled in the last 10 years. Right, okay. But it turns out the seemingly harmless drug may not be so benign and could pose physical and mental health issues. And this I agree with. I think this is true. And I do think this should be considered. People do kind of abuse it, harshly. Look, we saw what happened to the singer of Smashmouth. If you abuse alcohol, killed him. So I'm sure that there's negative things. Absolutely. Chronic cannabis use doubles major depression risk. Okay. Low birth weight while pregnant. They're very, very bad for pregnant women to be utilizing marijuana. I believe it. That makes sense to me. Links to severe mental health issues. So let's see. This is interesting. They couldn't be more different. No, Dread Roberts, they could not. That is fucking crazy. That's fucking insane. Jungle fever. No, not jungle fever. That is That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about evil propaganda. To much of the public, marijuana is relatively innocuous compared to illicit narcotics, but many researchers have come to the conclusion that this view is false, especially when a person uses the drug on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, how could it be completely benign? How could it have no impact on you? That's obviously not true. Researchers from what? Aarhus University, a hospital in Denmark, recently delved into the records of more than 6.6 million people in Denmark born between 1985 and 2021 and oh, okay. Like, why are you using babies? But because of pregnancy, and found that those with cannabis use disorder, defined as being unable to stop using it despite it causing damage to their health and social lives, about 41% of those individuals were diagnosed with major depression. Yeah, but that just might be correlation. If you is defined as being unable to stop using, there's probably an underlying reason. It's probably just not like, oh, I don't know, just smoking a joint at a party and all of a sudden I can't stop. It's probably because they were already depressed and that's why they start using marijuana habitually. This study sucks. Stupid study. They also found chronic marijuana use quadrupled a person's risk of being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now that sounds like a couple of women I dated. Hey-oh! Hey-oh! That's interesting though. Chronic marijuana use quadrupled a person's risk of being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now, once again, is that something that bipolar people gravitate towards marijuana, or does it actually affect your brain chemistry and open the door for bipolar disorder? I don't know. But that's pretty fucking, that's an interest. Quadruple? There's got to be something there. That's pretty interesting. There have been anecdotal reports of high potency marijuana vapes causing psychotics breaks, suicidal thoughts, and death by suicide. Okay, I can actually speak to this one firsthand. No, I have not killed myself. I'm very much alive. I'm not talking to you from beyond the grave. Suicidal thoughts, I mean, I don't know. I think at some point in your life, you're going to have suicidal thoughts. I don't really think that that's like immediately diagnose that, go to a doctor, get on Prozac. I think that's just part of life. I just think that you have suicidal thoughts sometimes. Maybe I'm unique in that, but I don't think so. However, the psychotic break thing. Let me tell you a little story. So, a few years ago, and she swears up and down this didn't happen, and I cannot possibly come up with any other conclusion. So, I was home for the holidays. My mom, like I said, partakes in marijuana, and she gave me some snacks for the plane because my mom loves me and takes care of me. Gave me like a sandwich and some cookies, you know, and I ate the sandwich, left the cookies, put them in my cupboard. Well, a few days later, I had to go to the doctor because a cat scratched my eye. My cat Ripley, who's no longer with us, she scratched my eye because Luke was in the house and she was really freaked out. Anyway, I grabbed these cookies out of the cupboard because I had to eat some before I went to the doctor. I didn't eat anything. So I just like housed like 4 of these cookies. So I'm going to the doctor. I'm waiting in the waiting room and I'm like, are they like pumping oxygen into this waiting room? I feel kind of high. Why do I feel kind of high? All of a sudden I'm like, yo, I'm high. Why am I high? Oh shit, those fucking cookies must have been marijuana cookies. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And then like the fucking sky opened up. It was like living in hell. It was like trying to drive home was like a nightmare. There was all these people, like couldn't get out of the way of anybody. There was like traffic where there's never been traffic. And I'm driving on the fucking highway and I get home and I am like in a spiral, like just I remember like I went to my roommate and I freaked out because I literally the thoughts in my head, they weren't words. I didn't have thoughts. It was terrifying. It was so scary. And then I just laid on the couch for like 11 hours in like a complete marijuana spiral, like a hole. It sucked so fucking much. I barely touch weed now because of stuff like that. And that is a real thing. And that does happen to people. The doses in edibles, the doses and stuff like that, that is a realistic concern. And I will say that that is something that does come with this shit and should be talked about more because it can really fuck you up. And I think some people probably, if you have like a propensity for psychosis or mental illness, can probably send you into a fucking dark place. And that was like 100% innocent. My mom swears it didn't happen. Mom, I know what it feels like to be high. I didn't have a psychotic break for a set period of time that had never happened prior or since. And it felt exactly like being super high. I'm pretty sure those were marijuana cookies and you just forgot. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying. But that was wholly innocent. Just my mom thought she was giving me cookies. I was just eating a snack before I went to the doctor, and then that happened. It is a real thing. You know, you're not really going to make that mistake with whiskey. You're not going to accidentally chug a bottle of vodka and a half hour later be like, oh my God, was that alcohol? I didn't know. So that is a realistic thing. I will be honest. Yeah, New Bomb. Probably only supposed to eat half a cookie. I didn't know they had marijuana in them. I thought they were just cookies. I probably had like, a huge dose. That's probably like 1,000 milligrams or something crazy because it did not stop for hours. It was horrible. Oh, it was horrible. Apparently, little public service announcement for you. Apparently, what you're supposed to do in that situation is drink coffee. Is supposed to help. Coffee can combat the psychoactive effects of marijuana. Take a shower. Now, I forgot if it's hot or cold, but showering helps. And also chewing peppercorns. If you chew like 3 or 4 peppercorns, that does something to your neurochemical receptors and can like disrupt the way marijuana affects you. Now, I've never done this experiment because I don't want to live in that hell again because it was awful. But apparently that works. I've read that. So if you ever find yourself stuck in some marijuana hole because your mom gave you weed cookies, coffee, peppercorns, and a shower, and you'll snap right out of it. You'll be good as new. It's like a fucking, it's like a potion in Baldur's Gate, Bruce Lombardo. I can't believe I'm drunk. That silver tequila completely tasted like brown pudding. What was that? Chocolate? I can't even believe I'm drunk on tequila now. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't really feel like you run into that too often. Maybe those like little chocolate things you get around the holidays that are full of liqueur. Maybe. But as a kid, those tasted boozy as hell because you never drank alcohol. Yeah. So Biden, goddamn Biden with marijuana. All right. So this is, I don't think this is funny. It's a little dark, but we're going to end on this one. But I saw this story and I was like, what the fuck? This was coming from the New York Post, which I often harvest. I use for articles. It's a good one. Gender reveal party ends in tragedy as plane crashes in front of oblivious guests. What the fuck? Okay, so watch this. This is insane. I don't think we're going to watch somebody die. Oh, Mexico gender reveal turns deadly. Oh, I guess we are going to watch someone die. So trigger warning. If you don't want to watch someone die, don't watch this video. I don't think it's too graphic, but it's just like, what the fuck? Wait, look, they don't even notice. Oh. Look, all due respect, that's what you get for having a gender reveal party, okay? All due respect to the dead, but the gender reveal parties are a crime against humanity, and this is what you get for doing it. That's fucked up, though, huh? Also, that looks red, not really pink. But yeah, and then everyone's like, yay! And this guy's like, oh my God! And then dies. Pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up. Dread Roberts, where are you based at? Austin, Texas, baby. Austin, Texas. I'm not from here or anything. I'm from New Jersey, but I've been living here for now. I'm a clandestine, undercover conservative. I still don't like calling myself a conservative. I don't think it's accurate, but not wokey. I'm slipping on it. I live amongst them. I watch their ways and I report back to y'all. Did you say you took those cookies on a plane? No, I didn't, because that would be trafficking drugs across state lines, which I would never do. It's quite illegal. But yeah, no, I did. I didn't know. Also, how the fuck would they know? They weren't labeled. Are they going to take a chemistry set and find out if there's THC in these cookies? I'm fine. Dread Roberts. Oh, I saw this video. It's like a horror scene. Yeah, I know. It is a horror scene. Can you imagine getting all these people together to be like, oh, this is the gender of my baby and making them all care? What a nightmare. Oh, the guy dying. Right. I mean, that was bad too. That was really bad. Yeah. No, that's fucked up. I mean, it's tragic. What a shit plane that was. The wing just snapped. Did you see that? It was like a model. He built that in his backyard or something? He just dies. That's a shit way to go. Well, you know, one life goes, another life's brought onto this earth. Guess that's just the way of the world sometimes. I feel bad. The plane's wing is folded over, and who the fuck was doing maintenance on that thing? I swear to God, the guy just like, how far are you flying? It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I put some electrical tape on it. It'll be okay. Trust me, I've been doing this for years. Dread Roberts about El Paso. Hell yeah, bro. Relax. I drove through El Paso. El Paso is an interesting town because you can see Mexico from it, and boy, does it look different than El Paso. It's wild. Living in like the first world, you really do forget how the rest of the world lives. And it's just like, whoa, so jarring. It looks so incredibly poor. There's a great video, plugging another YouTuber here, by Mr. Razorfist, whom I often talk about, plug, and I like his content a lot. He's a mensch. He's a good dude. He did a video about, if you go to his YouTube, it's an older one, but if you go to his YouTube channel and you just go like videos like by popular, it should be in the top 5 or 10. And it's because like most of them are like popular metal videos, but he did one about Mexico and the wall. Fuck, it's the first time I've ever heard anyone with this take. And he's basically saying like, you know, it's not really about whether immigrants should come here or not, or like whether they deserve a better life here. Is that you think Mexico should be poor when it shouldn't be. And I was like, damn, that's one hell of a fucking take. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that like Mexico's got these vast deposits of like oil and natural resources and all this shit that like they really shouldn't be a poor country. They should be like a thriving, wealthy country, but they're so corrupt, it makes it impossible. And I was like, that is a hell of a take. And also, I think like there's like, you should watch the video. Razorfist is obviously does a better job talking about this than I ever could, but I really recommend it. It was moving. It was even like touching, like emotionally, like he tells this like personal story about his time there in Mexico. And it was really like emotional. And it was just maybe the best take I've ever heard about the entire Mexico border America situation ever. And it's an old video. You should go watch that. I really recommend it. Fucking awesome. Love Razorfist. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. And it's relevant to you, especially being right there on the border. You know, because he lives in Arizona, in Phoenix. So it's like a, you know, border state. And he's got like a lot of firsthand knowledge. So he talks about it. And it's fucking poetry, man. Fucking absolute poetry. New Bond. It was in Mexico, but still, pilots should be doing a walkthrough before the flight. Yeah, I mean, literally, that is the weakest looking plane I've ever seen. I've seen model planes with more integrity than that. That's fucking nuts. That is fucking nuts. All right, folks. That's going to do it today for today's MFer Podcast, episode number 30. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please press like if you did. Subscribe if you have not. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm all over, man. And I've been trying to upload more content, trying to do more clips, trying to do more stuff. I know I'm working on Imperatus. Remember good old Imperatus? Impy. Good guy. He hit me up. This isn't official yet, so if it doesn't come together, I'm sorry. But he hit me up and wants to put together a Baldur's Gate stream 3. Sorry, Man of War. Baldur's Gate 3 stream where we do like a co-op thing. So he wants like me, Imperatus. I think Zach said he's on board, and Mark the Cyborg, I believe, is going to be the party. And we're going to do so much gay shit, dude. It's going to just be an orgy. We're not even going to kill goblins. Fuck that. We're just going to bang. That's all we're going to do. Just one nonstop man-on-man orgy. It's going to be great. No chicks either. It's fucking gross. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Guys and gals, if there were gals watching, I appreciate you. You guys are great. Like I said, you know, follow me on all the things. Social medias. Subscribe. Rumble. Give me some love. Send this to someone that you think might like it. I don't know. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Thank you for watching. Please press like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.